Still, good before noon, everybody. I'm Jody Miller. I'm one of the 4 faculty members for the Bloom Early Music Workshop, which has been held in the Bloomsburg area, actually in Catawissa, for a long time. This year, we actually moved to the town of Bloomsburg, which I saw a sign this morning. Those of you local, it said the only town in Pennsylvania. Is that true? So everything else is like a township or something. I'm sorry? Everything else is a borough. So, new trivia for me, this is the only town in Pennsylvania. I guess we didn't have any choices, did we? So, we have been meeting for many years, and we always, on Sunday morning, have a morning of playing mostly sacred music, masses from the Renaissance period. We're going to give, and we have had friends of the host would come and just listen to us play, very informative. We've slightly formalized it this year by starting a really late concert for you. And we hope not to keep you too long, but I promise you the music will be gorgeous. These are all amateur musicians who've traveled from all over the place just for a chance to study Renaissance and Baroque music for the weekend. And it's a thing that happens all over the country, just you may not know that these things happen. But we do hope that next year, if we can be back in the same space, we hope you'll join us and maybe bring along a couple of friends. Like I said, I'm Jody Miller, but I'm going to turn the program over to Larry Lipnick, who is almost the longest serving faculty member on the workshop.
We're thrilled we can meet in this beautiful church, in this amazing acoustic, for you to join us. We hope someday, maybe this year, you will all join us up here. We play a recorder, it's easily accessible. The music is glorious, it's so uplifting. We've come from far and wide to join together, playing this music together. There's such an amazing democracy to the music and the musical lives. Everybody is equally important in this music. Jody was practicing a piece. It's wonderful to hear the process. So much of the work we do is about process, about probing deeper to the composers we love throughout history, the music we love. This was in honor of a very special member of our ensemble. Does everybody know Susan Schwartz? She's a vital member of our community. She is playing this beautiful instrument. That's also a recorder, by the way. Do we have a soprano recorder handy that we can compare? That's also a recorder. And everything in between. Picture the pipes of a pipe organ. Then you can imagine, hey, great to see you. What it would be like to have people actually playing each pipe of an organ. That's the effect that we get. We have early string instruments. Can we see some of the viols? We have an alto viol. Notice the frets. 6 strings like a guitar, a raised bridge, flat back. Show us the back. Those of you who are particularly observant, notice, let's lift it up one more time. Do you see the sloping shoulders? That should remind you of a tiny double bass that you see in the orchestra. It is the last surviving member of this family, which coincided with the violin family. Not a predecessor, just a different type of instrument that this one unfortunately didn't make it up to the present age, except in our playing of this music, the revival of Renaissance music. There's another gorgeous one. Look at the shape. Those are both bass viols, roughly equivalent in size to a cello. One of them, Virginia, is holding a festoon bass. In the 16th century, anything goes. You can try any kind of design for your instrument. How do you like playing it, Virginia?
It's loud. I like it.
Loud? She loves it. She is a New Yorker, has been playing this music. We've been playing it together for many years. Kindred spirits. And let's see the theorbo. Look at that magnificent, majestic instrument. Popular around 1600. It's like a lute with added bass strings. You can see them. Can you play us a couple of your lowest strings? Amazing, isn't it? And that was to keep up with the expansion of music and development of music and musical styles in the 17th century. Beginning of the, I guess you could call it the beginning of the Industrial Revolution that takes us pretty quickly to the modern age. All these marvelous people here, we're going to play for you some of the music that we've been exploring this weekend. One of them that I will lead is by a composer working in Rome. Any of you know the composer Palestrina? This is a student, mentee, and worked in Rome in the early Baroque. Beautiful, mellifluous sounding music. And we can pretend that we're all transported to Rome and the Sistine Chapel. The piece is called Cantate Domino. Everybody relax. Giovanelli, Cantate Domino. Sing unto the Lord a new song. There are seats. Another faculty member, Phil Holler, will present Palestrina Motet. The teacher of this guy, Joe Vanette. Thank you.
So this is a piece, as Larry mentioned, by Palestrina. You know, there are so many amazing composers for the church over the centuries, but Palestrina's name is one that comes first to my mind when people talk about church music. He was held up in such high esteem by the church during his lifetime and this esteem did not end with his lifetime. He was held up as it's the pinnacle of compositional expertise in the church for a century or more after his death. I always feel a little bit sorry for the people that came after him, because I can just imagine in my mind, you know, the church leaders, you know, saying, yeah, why can't you be more like Palestrina? He left an indelible mark on sacred music, and we're going to listen to one of his, I would say one of his best known works now.
They're letting us be here. There's a music academy that meets here regularly. Alcoholics Anonymous meets here. There's a filters group downstairs. It's just amazing. So we did tell them that we were going, this is a free concert. I did mention to them that there would be a free will offering. So I'm going to start passing around the plate over there. And if somebody wants to donate some money, and you don't have to, but it will go to the church to help them keep this wonderful building open for us. And by us, I mean the whole community. Thanks, Woody.
While Susan's getting this started, I can't reiterate enough how much groups like ours and other nonprofits depend on the generosity of the community for things like this. So while we never try to throw a guilt trip, you know, personally I just love to support things when I can, although I can't always do so. But we appreciate your being here. Now the piece that we're about to play is not a Renaissance piece or an early piece at all. It was just written last year. And the piece of music is a very short mass, Missa Super Brevis. And it was written in honor of a longtime workshop attendee whose name is Barry Moyer. He came to this workshop for years. Lisa, was he at the earliest of the workshops? Does Barry date back to the earliest of the workshops here?
Not the earliest.
But
Well,
Barry,
it started out with Wayne's. The workshop started with Wayne having a flute
consort.
concert. They were all singers. And then he went to Mount Palladium in North Carolina, and he found that he loved going to a workshop. He thought, I'd love to start out my own, and then he did. And I think that's when Barry started. But the first time I came, I was the first teacher, and it was just singers. And we went to Knoebels and stayed there for the weekend, you know, lived in cabin. And Susan was there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Susan is an original person. Were you singing?
Or no.
Or no? So I was wrong. It wasn't just singers. And then Barry came soon after. Yes.
But Barry was a generous supporter of this workshop, and unfortunately he passed away a little over a year ago. And a composer in California, who is one of the most prolific American composers for recorder players today, agreed to write a piece in Barry's memory. This Missa Super Brevis is entitled, in my poor Latin, Missa Super Brevis Ave Barry Usus Celi. Okay, that's Bear in heaven. He was a big guy. If you saw him across the street, you might not want to cross to his side of the street if you saw him. But if you met him, you would realize he was the absolute kindest and gentlest person you could imagine. This large recorder that Susan is playing actually was given to an organization by Barry so that people could continue to play large recorders, because these are hard to come by. So we're going to play a part of this composition, the Requiescat, which is rest in peace, Requiescat in pace, rest in peace, and then ending with the Gloria. Okay? And without further ado, here we go, in Barry's honor.